Discerning shoes here for blue collar prepping. Here in the last couple weeks, I redid the rear brakes on my 99 family grocery getter there, my Suburban. It's got rear drum brakes, and it's a marvel of engineering and design that's infuriating and like a Rube Goldberg machine. Now, having said that, and the thought of doing that and having multiple times having to use pry bars and leverage tools to get the lug nuts off, I thought, hey, I had an idea. In case of an emergency, I won't have all those tools available. I should get a 12-volt, half-inch emergency impact wrench. So I bought this at Harbor Freight. I spent about 38 bucks and change out the door. And let's look at it a little bit before we get to the review of the product. You know, it comes in this nice little case. It's just blown, it's molded. Instruction manual. Here is your impact wrench and the 12-volt accessory plug-in. That's the way it works. There is this adapter up here where you plug in the 12-volt accessory plug-in into here and you just attach to a battery. And it comes with all these wonderful little lug nuts and of various sizes, all the way from 11/16 all the way up to, what was that, 7/8. And being a fine American product of the late 90s, 7/8 it is. So, how did it work? Well, first, let's talk about the lug nuts. The lug nuts are actually a little on the small side for a full-size vehicle. I actually would have preferred it if it was about 2 inches in length instead opposed to this. Because the problem is when the impact hammer vibrates on the lug nuts of my vehicle, it really only gets about 2/3 of a bite. So if it was an extra inch longer, it would have been much nicer. So it left marks. Now, having said that, it's a 99 Suburban. It's got a lot of growing marks on it, wear and tear. So that's fine. I wasn't too upset about that, but I think that's a flaw in the package they offer. I mean, there is room in the kit to do that, even though it could be a little more expensive. So, other than that, so when I used it, how did it work? Well, it's got 2 speeds on it. It's not that heavy, and the cord is actually long enough to operate from the cigarette lighter or the accessory plug-in in the front all the way to the rear wheel of my 99 Suburban. So I had 2 concerns. 1, does it have enough juice? And 2, will it use too much juice where it killed the battery? Well, the good news is it didn't use too much juice where it killed the battery. The bad news is that it actually has so little power that I still had to use my breaker bar and my pipe leverage extension to not only get it started, but also to tighten it back up. It really barely even turned it. Once I got it loose, it was great for taking it off real quick and putting it back on. But the reality was by the time I got to the second tire, or the second set of brakes, putting the final tire back on, it was useless to me. That ship had sailed. So I'm really disappointed. Granted, I didn't spend a lot of money on that, but the technology is there. I've been to shops where they use certain brand name cordless impact or hammer drills that are 18 volt, and they work all day long, taking lug nuts off of big, heavy duty trucks, 3/4 ton, 1 ton trucks. So even though it was inexpensive, I'm really kind of disappointed in his performance. Now, I may have gotten an anomaly. I did this myself. I am probably going to try and take it back and see what happens, or maybe get the real deal. And I might do a blurb on that later on, but I think it's really just kind of sad to say it's kind of what we got. So, in all fairness, like I said, it was less than $40. And those cordless impact wrenches that people use, they can usually run a couple $100 a piece. So, you get what you pay for, I guess. But the reality of it is, I mean, it is designed on the package. It's for an emergency by the roadside to take your lug nuts off. And I don't care what car it's on. If it won't take even one of them off, it won't take any off. So that's kind of a pass on that. So by all means, I would probably search for another brand name or do a little research. And I hope this helps on that. So back we go to the drawing board and find something else. This is the Discerning Shoes on Blue Collar Prepping. Be good, be safe. If you can't be safe, be good and dangerous.